Let's continue our conversation on the covenant, which is coming on Thursday. And I pose this question at first. Why does everybody hate the Jews? Scientists have actually looked at this, experts and historians. This is real.
Really good question.
Yeah, why does everybody seem to hate the Jews? First, they came up with 5 reasons. 1, Jews are hated because they're an inferior race. Except Jewishness is not a race. Any person, any creed or color can convert to Judaism. Okay, if I convert to be a Jew, they would kill me just as fast. Okay. Next one, economic. Jews are hated because they possess too much wealth and power. Well, okay, there are some well-off Jews, but there are millions of poor and downtrodden Jews as well. So Jews are people too. Isn't it kind of weird like that? Jews are hated because they're different from everyone else, is answer number 3. They're outsiders. Well, Jewish communities often tried to assimilate. In the 18th century in Europe, they tried desperately to assimilate. How'd that work out for them? Scapegoat. Answer number 4. The Jews are hated because they're the cause for all the world's problems. They've been hated because they're an easy target. Okay. Deicide. The Jews are hated because they killed Jesus Christ. Well, I just like to point out, I'm pretty sure those were the Romans that killed Jesus. They were the ones. So I ask the question again. Why do people hate the Jews? And why is America second in line? Notice that? We're the great Satan. Why? I think there's really one reason. The Jewish people know who they are. They're the children of Israel. They are from the promised land. They are God's chosen people. Who says they're chosen people? That's not right. Everybody's searching for answers, searching for the truth. Jews have something unique. They have an eternal identity that has been spoken. And it's an identity that is built on traditions, laws, promise, faith in God, a covenant, a rock of a covenant. And the Jewish people work hard at studying and teaching that covenant. They've handed down the traditions and blessings from one generation to another for thousands of years. They are very clear who they are. Now, just that alone, holding on to who you are, passing on customs and traditions and conventions, that makes you a little peculiar in today's world. We're not doing it. They are. And their covenant gives them a relationship with God and with one another. It binds them. It lifts them up. You know, the attitude in Israel is extraordinarily positive right now. I have heard that people have told me in Israel that everybody's very optimistic. They're all like, we're going to win this and we're going to solve this problem. And they're not cowering in fear. Where do they get that? The covenant of God gives them confidence that they're going to be blessed if they do what they're supposed to do. In a world where the foundations of truth and reality are being destroyed and being distorted, that kind of confidence lends itself to envy. And as Yoda warned us, envy leads to jealousy. Jealousy leads to hate. Hate leads to anger. And anger leads to the dark side. Or something like that.
Like suffering or...
Shut up. I'll tell you what Yoda said. We are suffering today, are we not? And it's because we're not grateful. It's because we forgot who we are. Jealousy. It leads to riots, abuse, and kidnappings. It's led us to war. And over again, it has led to mass genocide. You see, I think why the Jews are so hated is it's Satan's way of winning against God. This is the scriptures according to Glenn, so take it for what it's worth. God made the covenant. God did. I'll be your God. You will be my people. You will grow in size. All Satan has to do to beat God is to kill God's chosen people. That forces it. If I kill all of his people, then he's no longer God because he said he would protect them. And if we're looking for a way out of our situation, the surest way is to follow the example of the Jew. Remember who you are. Remember, too, that we're number 2. We're the great Satan. We're next. And that's because we, too, are a covenant people. You notice it's not Great Britain that they're saying is a great Satan. It's us. It's us. Because when the Pilgrims set foot in America, they stepped forward not only on the rock at Plymouth, but on the rock of the covenant. Comparisons are made all the time between the Jews and the Pilgrims, and the Pilgrims were also reviled. They were persecuted. They were led to a land of promise. And like the Jews, the Pilgrims built on traditions, laws, and faith in God. The Pilgrims worked hard. They didn't blame others. They studied, they sought, and taught the covenant. They handed down promises and blessings from one generation to the next. They forged a nation built on a relationship with God. But when we get to next week and we're celebrating Thanksgiving, how many of us are thinking about any of those things? Any of them. We've abandoned our promises. We've cast aside our blessings. We've given up on our relationship with God. But let Thursday change this, because we can pick up the mantle of our national covenant again. And the Pilgrims made their covenant with us. I tell you, with us. Not some generic us, but us, the people living today in mind. They're nearing the first Thanksgiving. They had so many trials. Only half of their company is left. Half died on the way over. Then the half of the other half died in the first winter. William Brewster's one of the survivors, and he said, "For some divine purpose, we yet remain. It is our Master's will that we stand or fall here, and in our harvest trials, has not the divine presence been with us? Wherefore let us stand. We believe this movement to be from him. If he prosper us, we shall be the means of planting here a Christian colony and of ending hence its precious blessing. Blessed, blessed it will be for us. Blessed for this land, for this vast continent. Generations to come shall look back to this hour and find these scenes of agonizing trial, to this day of small things, and say, here was our beginning as a people. These were our fathers. Through their trials, we inherit our blessings. Their faith is our faith. Their hope is our hope. Their God is our God." That's what the covenant is about. You have inherited the blessings and the responsibilities that have come with this covenant. You didn't make it, but our Pilgrims, George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, renewed it. We've made this. This is what God means when he says, if that nation will turn back and turn their face back to me, I will heal their land. It's your turn to step up and answer the call. The nation is waiting. The world is waiting. God is waiting. Thursday, on this broadcast, do not miss Thursday's broadcast. If you want to know more about it and you want to prepare for it, just go to glennbeck.com. We have a 40-day and 40-night. You're going to have to race through that one. And we have a 15-day that is more on your family. This first one is about the covenant, what it all means, all the examples of it in the past. And the 15-day is for your family and yourself to prepare for it. You can find those both at glennbeck.com.